So Dimensional Coalescence dropped not too long ago, and the game has been really fun to play. I think every character is incredibly fun, no one feels underpowered, and every killer is playable, with a few exceptions of Yuri bullying. Every character feels incredibly unique, and there doesn't feel to be any character overlap whatsoever, which is incredibly nice. And in my opinion, Bendy is one of the best characters in the game right now. He's incredibly fun, and I'm surprised I don't see a lot more people playing him, so I wanted to make a video talking about how good he is, how to use him, and just general playstyle of how to use him. If anything, this is probably more of a Bendy propaganda video than anything. Before anything, I should probably mention the game is still in prototype as of making this video, so there is a really good chance that a lot of stuff I say will be changed in the future. If that happens, I'll just make an updated video on the character. As of right now, Bendy has probably one of the most versatile kits in the game. He can play pretty much any of the three main roles, being front court, back court, or middle court. His abilities are incredibly versatile and give him different ways to handle different situations, and he has a good way to deal with pretty much any of the three killers in the game at the moment. Inkwave is his best skill in his kit. It is incredibly versatile, it can end chases and help teammates in almost any scenario as long as it lands. How it works is upon activation, Bendy will face whatever direction your camera is facing, and upon repressing the button, he will fire the Inkwave out, and this can be held for about 10 seconds before going on cooldown. Worst comes to worst, always make sure to fire it before the cooldown occurs. It's better to fire it than not fire it in pretty much any circumstance. It's always better to take the risk of missing than not taking the shot at all. Upon contact with a killer, it will pick them up and just carry them with the Inkwave until the animation ends. It also has the added benefit that it can also pick up any minions chasing you, so if you're getting chased by a swarm or something, you can activate Inkwave, and if you time it right, you can pick up any minions and the killer that are all chasing you all at once. Unlike a bunch of the other skills in the game that are able to immobilize the killer, you do not get iframes while using it. There are times where if you try to use it while the killer is directly chasing you, there is a good chance you will trade, meaning you will get hit after they get hit by the Inkwave. So it is recommended to try and use it either after they're on attack cooldown, or if you're at safe enough distance to where you can stop in the animation and fire it. The animation to fire it is incredibly short, but it is always nice to play carefully because you will trade a lot if you're playing incredibly aggressively with it. And like every other survivor in the game, Bendy can be buffed by Frisk, and what Frisk buff does for Bendy is make the Inkwave last longer. It's incredibly nice because if you're able to hit a killer with it close range, you can either send them incredibly far or far enough to where they can fall off a ledge. Something else you can do with Bendy's wave is that after a killer recovers from stun, if you time it right, they can be picked up by the wave the second they get out of stun animation, so they will get dragged by the Inkwave, and you're wasting even more of their time. And when the main gimmick of the game is to survive long enough until the exit spawns, every second wasted matters, so every one of those instances helps the team a lot. Out of all of Bendy's skills, Inkwave in my opinion is his most versatile and his best skill. It is able to end chases, it is able to save yourself, it can save teammates, it can deal with minions swarming. It's just so versatile, and there's a lot of good ways to use it. Another small added benefit is that it's not considered a stun, so it will not give Vortex his outburst meter. Ink Puddle is a pretty self-explanatory skill. After about a second or so animation, Bendy will place down a puddle of ink at his location, and it will stay there until a killer minion walks on it. If they do, they will be slowed and have the screen obstructed for a few seconds. They also have the added benefit that the slow and blindness effect can stack up to 3 times, so you can either stack the portals on a specific spot, or you can put them at the bottom of top of spring so the killer can run them multiple at once while trying to chase a team. Typically, the ink traps are pretty easy to avoid if the killer is aware, so it's best to put them in a location where they will have to touch them, typically just on springs and at the end of springs. Those are the best spots for them. They can be used in chase in very specific scenarios. If you run to a spring and press the puddle button the second you hit the spring, you will do the animation and activate the spring, so by the time you land, you will place the puddle. It should go without saying that make sure you put these near where the team is playing. If you just put them in the corner, you're actually down a puddle because you can only have 5 out at a time, and to my knowledge they don't despawn, and until a killer or minion walks into them, you're just down one of your ink puddles. There's really not much else to say about ink puddles. It's a very simple, very effective trap type skill that can easily ruin a killer's chase if your team is able to play around them properly. Inkflow is Bendy's last skill, and it is also incredibly versatile, just like Inkwave. Upon activation, Bendy will submerge into the ground and get a minor speed boost, and while he is submerged, the killer and any minions that are in the round will be highlighted to him while he is still submerged. It should be worth noting that the speed boost you give is not enough to outrun a killer. They can still catch up to you, and additionally, you do not have iframes, they can still hit you while you're underground. However, upon successfully emerging from the ground, you will stun any killers or minions that are in the small area around you where you come up from. It will also blind them and jump scare them with a Bendy cutout because it's funny. The blindness is just as potent as it is in his ink puddles, and the cardboard cutout jump scare added to it makes it incredibly hard for the killer to track where you are going if you use it to stun them. Typically, since you can't outrun the killer with it, or typically keep up most of the time, it's best to use this as an ambush tactic while your teammates are being chased. Since the killer is highlighted to you while you're underground, it is incredibly easy to get sneak attacks on them if they're being tunnel vision with your teammates, or if they're just looking for survivors and you happen to be nearby. You can also use it while being chased. The minor speed boost does make a difference, even if it's not a big one, and the killer has to respect your hitbox because if they try and go for a hit and you emerge, you can just stun them and push them back. The only other major thing to know about Inkflow is that while submerged, you can fall off ledges and stay submerged, but you can't use springs, just like how Vortex's burrow works. That's really all I have to say about Bendy right now. He is a very good survivor, and I think a lot of people sleep on him heavily. Hopefully, the biggest takeaway of this video is that people recognize Bendy is a good survivor, and hopefully he starts to see a lot more play, because I do believe he is one of the best survivors in the game. If Bendy gets a big rework in the future, I'll make a video talking about it, but as of right now, I think Bendy has a really good kit that only needs a little bit of minor tweaking if they want to balance him out a bit more. In my opinion, if they were to do some changes, I would make it to where portals... This isn't Pillar Chase 2. I would change it to where ink traps, instead of having a stacking slow if they get hit by multiple, is that if a killer triggers one, they have a slightly weaker slow, but their aura is highlighted to everyone on your team, since Bendy is technically considered a recon support type character in his description. I'll make more guides on other characters when I get around to it. I just had a lot of Bendy footage laying around and wanted to talk about him for a bit. Anyways, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.